wonder who we'd all be if we weren't so afraid of looking embarrassed. Would you finally start that YouTube channel? Would you wear the outfit that you've been saving? Speak the language that you have been always wanted to learn? Laugh a little louder and get excited about the things that you genuinely love without worrying that someone else might think it's too much. Because I don't think the fear of being cringe is about embarrassment. I think it's about becoming less like yourself. Hello girlies, welcome back to my corner of the internet. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Kavya. Lately, I have been wondering why so many of us hold ourselves back even though nobody's actually stopping us. Because if you really think about it, most of the things that we want in life aren't actually dangerous. Learning a new skill is not dangerous. Wearing the outfit you love isn't dangerous. Being excited about the thing you actually love is not dangerous. So why does it feel like it is? I was thinking about it, and the more I thought, the more I realized that this conversation isn't about being cringe. It is a conversation about authenticity and all the ways in which we edit ourselves just to make sure that we fit in. So today, I want to explore this idea with you in 3 parts, because by the end of this video, I don't want you to leave thinking, I need to stop being cringe. I want you to be wondering, how much of myself have I edited just to make someone else comfortable? Part 1. Why we hide. I think the biggest misconception is about people who are confident just don't care what others think. But I think they care just a little less. Because if we're being honest here, I think wanting people to like us is completely normal. None of us enjoy being judged. None of us enjoy being laughed at. None of us enjoy being left out. So when we think of doing something that might make us stand out, our brain immediately starts asking questions like, what if people think I'm weird? What if people think I am trying too hard? What if they laugh? And before we have even done the thing, we have already talked ourselves out of it. I have done this so many times. A really good example is when I started learning Korean. When I used to tell people that I am learning this language, they immediately used to go like, oh, that's just because you like K-dramas, or maybe it is just because you like K-pop. And this is not about true or false, but because they made me question if I should stop talking about something that genuinely made me happy. And then one day I realized that at the end of the day, their opinion wasn't changing the fact that I was still learning a new language. I was still showing up, I was still building a new skill. And that's what made me realize that sometimes the hardest part is not learning a new skill. It is being seen while you are still learning it. And I wonder how many things in our lives are like that. How many dreams are not actually difficult? They are just visible. Not because the thing was actually dangerous, but being judged felt a lot bigger in our head than it actually is. Part 2. The cost of fitting in. Have you ever walked out of a conversation and after a while you have replayed the whole thing in your mind, trying to figure out if you sounded awkward in the conversation, or if that one joke was embarrassing, or if you talked too much? Meanwhile, the other person has probably forgotten about it. I think we forget that everyone else is just as busy thinking about themselves as we are. You know, there's actually a name for this, the spotlight effect. We all tend to believe that there is an invisible spotlight that is following us around. Like everyone else is paying a very close attention to every little thing that we do. But most of the times they are not. They are thinking about what they said, how they looked, whether they were awkward. And honestly, I find that strangely comforting, because the people we are trying so hard not to embarrass ourselves in front of are busy worrying about embarrassing themselves too. I have noticed in some smaller moments as well. Have you ever been really excited about telling someone something, and halfway through the story, you suddenly stop yourself, not because it was not interesting, but because you thought that, what if they don't care? Or maybe you have wanted to ask a question in a class, and then you immediately convince yourself that the question you want to ask is actually stupid before you even gave a chance to someone else to hear the question. Those moments seem very small, but I think they slowly teach us something, that it is safer to hide than to be seen. And the more we believe that, the smaller we become. Part 3, becoming yourself again. And I think this is the part that actually changed the way I look at all of this. I have realized that almost everything authentic looks a bit embarrassing and awkward at the beginning. Speaking a new language, learning a dance, starting a YouTube channel, creating art. None of these things look polished at day one. They are supposed to look like someone who is learning. And I think that is the exact problem. I think we have forgotten how things at the beginning look like. We have become so used to seeing everyone's finished product that we have forgotten what the beginning looks like. I still think that every time I upload a video, there's always a tiny part of me which wonders, what if people don't think it's useful? What if people laugh? What if people think it's cringe? What if people in my uni see it? Those thoughts still come up sometimes. The difference is I have stopped letting those thoughts take my decisions, because I'd rather be a little embarrassed than keep wondering my whole life what would have happened if I just let myself try. And I think that is what authenticity is. Not never feeling scared, not never feeling judged, but choosing to be yourself anyway. Because every time you do that, you are telling yourself that my life is more important than anyone else's opinion. And I think that is the kindest thing that you can do for yourself. At the beginning of this video, I asked you, who would you be if you weren't so afraid to look embarrassing? And you don't really have to answer the question today. You just have to notice the moments when you make yourself a little quieter, a little smaller, and a little less excited about the things that you genuinely love, just to make sure that someone else is feeling comfortable. Because I don't think we lose ourselves all at once. I think we lose ourselves every time we make a tiny edit in ourselves. And maybe we find ourselves in the same way. One honest conversation, one opinion that you actually said out loud, and one outfit that you've been wanting to wear for so long. One language you keep learning anyway, one video that you upload, one choice where you decide, I'd rather be myself than be approved by everyone else. Because the goal was never to stop feeling embarrassed. The goal was to stop letting embarrassment decide the shape of your life. Okay, girly, this is your little homework for this week. I want you to do something that is tiny bit embarrassing, simply because that is genuinely you. Maybe it is wearing the outfit that you really want to wear, and maybe it's speaking a language that you are still learning. Whatever it is, don't do it to prove others wrong, but do it to remind yourself that your life doesn't have to shrink just because someone else had an opinion. And if you do, come back and tell me. I would genuinely love to hear and celebrate it with you. This brings us to the end of today's video, and I really want to thank you for spending your little part of the day with me. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this conversation, it's this. The world doesn't need the version of you that has been edited just to make everyone else comfortable. It needs the real you. If this video stayed with you, don't forget to like it. And if you know someone who has been hiding parts of themselves just because they are too scared of being judged, send this video to them. And if you haven't already, subscribe and join our little corner of the internet. Take care of yourselves this week and be brave to be seen. And remember, the people who are meant for you will never ask you to be less like yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.